a mother.
She's gone loco.
Hey, we have to do the ritual again.
What happened?
Turning Red was such a hit among fans that people have been begging for a part 2. Well, there are now rumors of a sequel, and word on the street is that there's going to be a massive difference from the first movie. But exactly how big of a difference are we talking about?
How is this possible? What happened to your panda?
It's easy.
Turning Red 1. In Turning Red 1, we meet May, a 13-year-old Chinese-Canadian who is not just an overachiever, but who does everything to make her family proud. You could say she was a model daughter in a traditional family that emphasized tradition and family heritage. Although when we meet her, May gives us the impression that she could wear what she wants, say what she wants, and will do a cartwheel if she feels moved. This, of course, was just her posturing. Her overbearing mother would definitely not have allowed that. Everything, however, changes when May begins to experience some transformation in her body. This transformation has to do with an ancestral curse that makes May change into a red panda whenever she experiences intense emotions. This puts her at the crossroads of finding who she really is, or just continuing to do as her family pleases. One of the choices she had to make was letting go of her panda spirit, just like others in her family have. This, of course, did not happen, but the story was able to explore how it is to go against what your parents want and to choose your own path and identity. It brilliantly explores the layers of generational trauma in a family and how they resolved it. Turning Red 2 is the first Pixar animated movie to be made by an all-female team, which definitely makes it something worth considering. Not only that, but the movie is steeped in Chinese culture, which is something all audiences will enjoy. The movie also got applauded for its really nice animation and also the inclusion of a storyline that dealt with a teenage girl's menstrual cycle. This last bit received a lot of mixed feelings though. The end of Turning Red 1 left enough room for several storylines to be explored for a possible sequel or maybe even a prequel. May in college.
We've been so good. If they don't trust us anyway, then what's the point?
Wow, who are you?
Part 1 of Turning Red began with May as a teenager, and we get to see how she navigated puberty and the emotional turmoil of teenagehood. We know she had a strong circle of friends consisting of 3 other girls her age, which is essential to every teenager, and also her love for boy bands. A great possible storyline could be of May in college and all the college troubles, and basically how she manages her emotions and her panda side in college without the guidance of her family. Even though May was able to resolve the conflict due to the acceptance she got from her peers, Part 2 could look at May's social life in a different context, and with the mind and awareness of an adult, as opposed to the mind of a teenager. There are things many of us would love as teenagers, but as we reach adulthood, our feelings about them change. Exploring this will add more depth to May's story, and we'll get to see a different part of her. Will adult May still feel the same way about her panda side, the same way teenage May did, or will her feelings about it change? This will be a really interesting thing to do, and if the writers want to take it to an even more personal and political level, they can explore what it means to be a Chinese Canadian in Canada, and how May manages her panda side as a young adult in such a political context.
You're not going out like that, are you?
My panda, my choice, Mom.
May as a mother. A lot of the conflict in Turning Red 1 rests heavily on the tension between May and her overbearing mother, who wants her to let go of her panda side just as she too has. Part 2 of Turning Red could explore the storyline of May as a mother with a child who is the same age May was in the first movie. There are several possibilities in this storyline. The first could be that, unlike May, her daughter does not find the balance between her own identity and the panda self, and basically struggles with it throughout the movie. She comes to her mother, May, and tells her that she wants to sever her spirit from her panda side, and May would be caught between wanting to respect her daughter's individuality and making her see that the panda spirit is something to be embraced rather than rejected. This will really be an interesting storyline because it will make May reflect on her relationship with her mother and also understand the difficult choices that come with parenting. Or it could simply be a story of a mother and daughter bonding over a connection to their panda spirit without the whole conflict that comes with having a different point of view. This seems like the least likely choice, but it sure would be interesting to see.
Everyone, go home! Where are your parents? Put some clothes on!
May's mother and grandmother. Ying and Wu, May's mother and grandmother, were really important characters in Turning Red 1. Unlike May, they did not embrace their panda side. The first movie did not really explore the history of both mother and grandmother. All we know is that May's mother is overbearing and difficult and does not really have a great relationship with her daughter. There were several scenes of May's mother humiliating her in public, and fans could not help but wonder about the origin of her behavior. Part 2 could look into May's mother's history and her journey with her own panda side. What made her decide to seal her panda spirit? Did she experience a form of rejection because of that? We can't deny that at May's time, people were becoming more open and accepting of differences, and this contributed to her coming to terms with it. Part 1 could be a prequel that looks at the difficulty May's mother and grandmother had to face when it comes to getting accepted. Maybe May's grandmother migrated to Canada full of love for their family's panda side, but this changed due to certain reasons that made them decide to keep this family curse a secret. This, of course, will not be lighthearted like May's story, and the people who would find it more relatable would be people who probably experienced something similar as May's mother and grandmother.
I didn't mean that. I'm a gross red monster. Stop talking.
The men. In Turning Red 1, we learn that Sun Yi was granted this transformation to protect her daughters and her village during wartime, and that all her female descendants have also had this ability. However, what if it happens that a male descendant suddenly developed this ability too? As it stands now, only female descendants have this ability, and so it's not expected that a male descendant of Sun Yi will have it. But by having May's male cousin develop this ability, it will give the writers a lot to think about and to explore. I, for one, would like to know if the panda transformation will be the same for men, and if the panda will even be a red one. This story could look into how May helps her cousin reach the point of acceptance that she did. And also, we would get the opportunity to delve deeper into the origin of the curse. And maybe we'll even get to go on a trip to China to search to uncover the true history of the panda curse. Even though there is yet to be a green light for a part 2 of the movie, this has not stopped fans from speculating about what will happen. Director Domi Shi has said in interviews that they are definitely open to the idea of a part 2, but as it seems now, nothing is in the works. We know that the first movie took about 5 years to make, and if we're going by that timeline, then we should expect Turning Red 2 to drop in 2027 or probably earlier as a large part of the work that has already been done. But as it stands now, there is no content for Turning Red 2, but the creators could definitely take a hint from the many fan theories going around.
I was Mathletes champ in grade 8, you know. They called me the uncommon denominator.
And that's all we know about Turning Red 2. If you enjoyed this video or have any more interesting theories for us, please share them in the comments. And if you've not subscribed to our